All right, Elvis, thanks for your patience.
Sure.
We have worked hard to put together a fair proposal.
Okay.
You know, it's not perfect. I know what perfect is. Our customers have told us. Perfect would be that we buy your bike for exactly what you paid for it, and we hand you the keys to the new bike, and we wave goodbye.
That would be perfect.
Well, it's not perfect. It is fair because we know that you're the judge and jury. We know that you've put in tons of time to research this. You've spent time with us today, and we don't want to waste your time. Nor do we want you to go anywhere else. That's why we worked hard to do this. Now, the bike. That's number one, because there's no such thing as a good deal on the wrong bike. Is the bike right?
Yeah, based on what I want to use a motorcycle for, I think I'm on the right bike.
Okay, good. Well, then we think we've got a terrific opportunity for you right here. All right. The MSRP was $14,900, so you own it for $14,900. We've got a fee here for electronic filing. We've got our dock fee and taxes. Your bike, I know it's not suited for you right now, but we want it badly enough to pay $8,400 for it, which provides you some equity, which not everybody does. In addition, most people on a bike in this price range want to put down about $2,700. Now, that provides you with 4 different plans. Short-term plan would be at 48 months. The interest rate would be 4.99, and your monthly investment would be $331. 60 would be $285 at 0%. Is that right? Or is that 5.99? And by the way, well, I'll get back to that in a second. At 72 months, your payment is much more flexible and much more comfortable. Comfortable is easy to understand. It's almost, well, it's a little under $100 less than it would be at 48. Flexible meaning that you can still pay it off in 48 months with no prepayment penalty. By the way, it's $499 there. At $599 and the payment is at $285, well, it's a little higher than it would be here, a little lower than it would be here, but that's sort of the best of both worlds because you can pay that one off early. So if you will choose the payment that best suits your particular circumstances, and then that right there will get your new bike ready for delivery.
I appreciate what you've done for me today, Steve. I'm going to have to think about it, and I'll tell you why. A friend of mine told me that he had gone over to Earl Smalls in Marietta, and they offered him a lot more than you guys did for trade. So I appreciate your time. If you want to give me your card, let me go over there and see if they'll give me more money for my bike.
Elvis, thinking about it is almost always the right thing to do. Okay, especially for a purchase of this magnitude. Okay, now you will think about this. You're just not telling me to have to blow me off, are you?
No, I want to think about it.
Okay, Elvis, would 3 to 5 days be long enough for you to think about this?
Yeah, I wouldn't need more than probably 2 days.
Okay, well look, take 3 days, 5 days, take 35 days. It really doesn't matter. But before you leave, could I share with you what our customers tell us they are most concerned about and spend the most time thinking about? It may help you make your decision whenever you choose to make it.
Can you do it in just a couple minutes?
Oh,
I need to go let the dog in.
Yeah. Like I said right before I presented the numbers, okay? There's no such thing as a good deal on the wrong bike. The bike that you picked out, the bike that you seem to say met every single need you had, it is the right bike, correct?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Every bit as important as the bike you buy, because bikes are bikes for the most part, but every bit as important is the place you buy the bike from. Now, you've met some of our technicians, you've met a service writer, you know of our reputation. Do you feel like Killer Creek is the right place to buy your bike from?
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed my visit here. I've never been in the dealership before, and I've only ever done business across town.
All right, well, good. I mean, you are well on your way to making a great decision, because if it's the right bike, the right place, I'm going to ask you to be honest here. Have I done my job?
You've been great, very knowledgeable.
Okay. And lastly is the money.
It always is.
Okay? If it's the right bike, right place, right person, I'm going to bet you that based on what you told me before, based on the bike you've been riding, I'm going to guess that the bike fits in your budget, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is just getting the most from my trade. I mean, you know, I'm just like anybody else, you know.
Understand. So, everything's okay other than this number right here.
Yeah, everything else is fine.
Okay. We solved this problem. Nothing else stands in the way of you taking delivery of the bike today then?
No, I wouldn't even need to think about it if I can get more money for the trade.
Okay. Well, the fact that you want more for your trade is not news to anybody, okay? Most people do want more for their trade. And thanks for sharing that with me. I'm going to guess that you had thought or certainly hoped that your bike was worth maybe $10,000, $10,500?
I was thinking if you guys could get to the $10,000 mark today, then there'd be nothing stopping me from buying a new bike.
Well, I don't know what sort of research you've done, Elvis, but it's extremely good research, okay? We too think that the bike can be worth actually a little more than $10,000.
Really?
Yeah, but the operative term here is can be. Someone is going to make this bike worth more. Now, the question is, who is it going to be?
Okay.
All right, and if it turns out it's best for you to be that person, we will assist you in that endeavor.
Okay.
And we'll try to make it as painless and economically painless as possible. But let's look at it this way. The cash value of your bike is what we'll pay for it. That's $8,400. Mm-hmm. You want $10,000. That is a $1,600 difference.
Okay.
But it's not completely correct. Because if you drive out of here in a few minutes without us being able to come to get together, and you take a right on Alpharetta Highway here, and you go down to Mansell Road, and you're waiting to take a right to head back to Cobb County, and while you're at that light, somebody pulls up next to you and says, "Hey, pretty bike." And you thank them, and they say, "Is it for sale?" And you go, "Thank you, Lord." And you go, "As a matter of fact, it is." And they say, "How much?" And you go, 10 grand. And they say, "We'll take it."
That'd be awesome.
Well, it'd be a miracle is what it'd be. But you know what? Stranger things have happened. Well, what would happen is you'd probably have to get a ride from them back up here.
I'd just walk.
Okay, you'd come in here shaking your finger at me and going, "See, Steve, I told you it's worth $10,000. I'd high-five you. Okay, because quite frankly, I'd be tickle pink because you were back here. And your bike had been taken care of. You got your 10 grand. But you would quickly realize that the $1,600 difference really wasn't true. Because in the state of Georgia, when you trade a bike in, you only pay taxes on the difference between what the new bike costs and the value of your trade-in bike. $8,400, do this for me, times 6.5% is what?
546.
546. That means you would have netted only $1,054. Okay? But you know what? $1,054 ain't nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, better than a short
Okay?
stick, man.
But let's get a little more realistic here. Okay? You got a great bike, which is why we'll buy it for $8,400. But in order to make it worth $10,000, in order for someone to pay top dollar for that bike, the bike's got to be in nearly new condition. It's got to be in top-notch condition. Now, you bought it from us not too long ago. You've ridden the ever-living devil out of it. And you know what? That's what a bike's for. I'm glad you did that. But fact of the matter is, before anyone is going to look at it, ride it, much less buy it, someone's going to have to spend some money on that bike. Your tires, I think they're just fine.
Okay.
Okay? Detail. Okay, you know, your bike's not dirty, but before anybody's going to pay top dollar for a bike, they want it standing tall, they want it shined up, they want it cooking. If you are going to pay for a full detail on that bike, what do you think you'll pay?
I've never had a bike detailed. I don't know. I mean, $100.
Well, you know what? We charge $109 internally, so
Okay.
I would make sure that we would do that for you. Okay? Now, you've got a service at 50,000 miles that's due, and I'm going to bet you $1 at a time you did not do it because you knew you were going to trade the bike, correct?
Yeah, I mean, there was no sense in spending the money on it.
You know what? And you did the right thing. Okay? I'm glad you didn't because you wouldn't have gotten it back. However, somebody, whether it be you or us, is going to have to spend that money on the service if we're going to sell it for something like 10 or 10.5.
Okay.
All right? So I'm gonna guess that would be about a $400 service.
Sounds about right.
Okay? I don't really think you need anything else. You got a few dings and dents. $50. Paintless dent guy. All right. I don't really think it needs any other repairs. You know, I'm gonna keep with our scenario where somebody buys it at the light. I'm gonna drop the advertising expense too. However, if you do invest this money into the bike that you're not gonna ride anymore after you sell it, it's probably gonna take you, it takes us 30 to 45 to 60 days to sell a bike. I'm gonna guess it's gonna take you at least that too. And you'll make one more payment of
$310.
okay. So we're looking at $1,000 difference, and quite frankly, investing money in a bike to net 1,000 makes good sense to me. But add these up for me.
Okay.
109, 400, 360.
869.
Okay. Here's how the money flows. You want 10. It's worth 8.4. Total expenses, getting the bike ready to sell, not even counting advertising, not even counting anything else, and making one more payment, meaning you sell the bike fairly quickly, okay? And you know, July is not the greatest month to sell bikes, but it could happen. We've got 869. So take 10,000 minus 8,400 minus 869.
731.
And then subtract that tax credit of 546.
185.
So now, here's what we're looking at. If someone doesn't ask for a discount, your net would be $185. Okay? You'd have to invest $869 to net $185. Now, I'm not a gambling genius, but I don't think those are very good odds. And guess what? Most people that are going to shop for a bike, private sale, are going to want a discount of what, $500 maybe?
Yeah, that's what I would ask for.
Which means you would then go in the red. You ain't no dummy. You ain't going in the red. I need you to okay your new bike right there.
Will you give me a helmet?
No. No. You know what? I'll get you a discount on the helmet though.
That'll work.
All right.